Yo, what's good everyone? So I want to go through EU and what we've seen today on price action, and yeah, talk on what I was looking at, the supply that I was looking to get short from that I posted into Discord, and also the 15-minute area that I've got marked on here. So last week we had a nice push up, and what I was saying in the previous video I released, where this was the area of, the last area of invalidation for bearish order flow. So if we was to see this be broken like we have seen here, then for me my bias is going to be flipped, and we can then start to flip our bias from bearish to bullish, because if this is going to continue, that's the swing point, the most recent swing point, and if that's going to be breached, then that's showing to me BFI is changing their sort of bias and flipping momentum. So now we've seen a push up, okay, and if we look at this large candle, so we have an inside bar, okay, and we had a wick up. So we wicked up, closed back down here, then we had an inside bar, push back up, and we actually broke the high with this move, okay. So we have that inside bar, but then we can look on the lower time frames. We can also identify the wick that comes back into that inside bar, okay, and on a 15-minute time frame, that's a nice POI. You can see price came into it, reacted, and we did get an entry. Now, although I was looking to sell from here, the overall bias for me is now long. So ideally I want to be looking at this area to get long from, but I did miss the entry. I didn't get involved in it. There was a few entries to take, but I'm not involved, unfortunately. But yeah, if we get into it now, so we get to a 15-minute. Okay, so if we look at this, we have this move that actually broke the swing point. Price come back in to mitigate that inside bar, pushed off, pulled back, and then we broke structure on this move here above that high. And this is that hourly wick that I was talking about. We have the last sell candle before the buy that pushed up. So that's my area. You can see price came into it, but what I like to do is just keep that out of the way, just so we keep it nice and clean. We know where we are. Price came into it here, okay, and we also have price that took out these bit of trend line liquidity and sort of these highs as well, or higher lows. So if we get into it, you can see price came into that area, so a nice level of demand refined on the 15-minute. And if we also look at what we have here, nice area of supply which does not need to hold. Also, we have a nice break of structure that led into mitigate this demand. And the reason why this did not need to hold is because we haven't really taken or formed inducement before price came in. Also understanding this failed because higher time frames took over and demand took control. So I did have this area marked on when I posted this into Discord, so I was looking at it but I didn't get involved. So if we go to a 1 minute time frame, okay, and what we can do is actually put this on. Okay, so price came in, and what do? If we look at what happened here, we put in a low, pull back, lower low, lower high, and although you can be looking at entries here, it's not meeting my plan because it's not showing. Firstly, we haven't taken liquidity. Secondly, we aren't showing momentum. Thirdly, we haven't induced anyone in. This for me is that inducement from these little breaks of structure, and we get a range. What does price do? Takes out the range. Okay, we mitigate the EQ of this demand, and for me, this is when I'm really looking to be getting involved in trades. So if we just zoom in, we can see when price comes in, we have, oh, we want that one. Okay, so we have a low or a lower low, and we have a lower high. Okay, so just following structure, we've now taken liquidity, so I'm really looking to get involved, but I didn't take this trade, as I said. But for me, what I was looking at, I didn't get to the chart in time. If I'm being honest, I was doing something else. But we have this move here that I was looking at. So you can see a nice push up. It's not, we have one candle that shows momentum, but it's not too clear, but it is something that I would take, because this is the move up that actually broke this, and it really started from this pullback and that candle. So as it's a larger candle, we can be looking at the EQ. Now if you are taking the actual top of this, then you're probably taking out just, but for me I wouldn't be taking that because it's too tight, and I would maybe go to 2.5 pips, or yeah, I would take the EQ. Okay, so we can look at this, and the EQ, if you're not aware, that basically means the halfway point, so the equilibrium of the area we're looking at. Okay, 2 pips, which is my go-to with EU, and also we can look at the 15-minute area of supply I was looking at, which is here, so we can mark that on. Now although we was looking for price delivery into this area, that's exactly what we're looking at, price delivery, and you can see we didn't get any sells or any sell confirmation. So if I was looking at this trade, as you know, I would be managing on structure. So break even point is here. Once we break this, we can move it to break even just above to cover our commission, and then really I'm looking for structure. So we get a nice mitigation of supply, we pull back and we break with this move, so we can move to there. Okay, and you know, if we look at this here, so this move here, so if we just delete that off. Okay, so this move here actually fouled supply, so it's very likely for price to come back in to mitigate, and you can see we did so. We didn't come to the extreme, if you want to call that the extreme down there, but this is what caused the break. So if you want to be managing once price pulls back here, then you know it's likely you're going to be taken out. And yeah, looking at this trade, it would meet my plan, but I didn't take it because we've got a flip. We had supply failed, demand created, we come in. Okay, so you can be looking at this. Very nice trade to be taken, and you can see we ran for highs of 6%. So we continue on this trade, we take out the high, so again we can manage at this low, and this is what we're doing, just following price. We take out the next high with this move here, so we manage at the new low, and obviously the more deeper we run into profit, we want to be banking or being more aggressive. Okay, and then we would have been taken out here for 7.8 for a Monday. So yeah, that's the trade I would have taken, but didn't get to the charts in time. And yeah, you can see what price is doing now. We go to a 15-minute. Ultimately the higher time frames are always going to be taking control, so we want to be trading with that momentum. And looking at price now, it's possible that we can now be coming for the higher, which is up here. So if we get a nice 15-minute demand zone, providing inducement along the way, then I'll be looking at that and then targeting the high for a first target, and then taking it from there. But yeah, I thought I'd go through that little bit of price action. When we have supply, but then ultimately demand takes control, the higher time frames take over, and momentum shifts. So that's one thing with how we trade. We can be taking a lot of trades on 1 minute time frames, but sticking to the higher quality trades and the higher time frame narrative is really important. And we want to be taking the best trades, the best investments, and staying clear of shitty trades basically. And that's something I've been perfecting over the last year, and yeah, it just comes with experience. And yeah, so that's it. So I've got a lot more videos coming, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I hope you all have a good week, and yeah, let's smash it.